Nice to have you as. I'm a big fan. I even like the ones that don't do so well.
Thank you. You're one of the few, Charles.
You don't much like these interviews, actually. You're not overly comfortable.
I'm not very, as you can see, I'm not that good at them right now. I'm sort of stiff.
You do you do fine. Now but you usually play the extroverted, ebullient, enthusiastic kind of characters, and I gather that's sort of against type.
Well, it's what I've been given over the last few years, and I don't mind doing that type of role. I don't think it's really me, but
really,
maybe it is. I don't know.
What is John Candy?
That we're still looking at too. I'm seeing my shrink every week and trying to figure that out myself.
3 people investigating that.
A lot of people think that comedians are kind of dumb, that they're the butt of humor, or it's not like a great dramatic actor who's supposed to have more depth. But the truth is, in order to be funny, you really have to be very bright.
Well, yeah, you can fake it, and you can somehow fake Shakespeare. An actor can go off a little bit, and people who aren't familiar with Shakespeare will just watch him on stage. But if the joke doesn't work, it just doesn't work. You know, they either laugh or they don't. And that's a quick lesson right there.
Was it journalism school where you picked up a book on acting?
Dick, why would you bring that up?
Because you don't remember me, do you? I sat in the next chair.
Oh, I was so bad. I
Were you?
had no idea what I wanted to do. Well, I'll take journalism, so I went for, God. Oh, I ended up going for a couple of years. It was painful. I was bad. I was never a great student. And I thought, well, I'll try. But I ended up in the drama department, and we created a drama department, and that was fun.
And you've never looked back?
Never looked back.
You've never
I never wanted to look back.
You're from Toronto.
I'm from Toronto, yep.
And Aykroyd also is from Toronto.
Yep, we started together. We drove a postal truck, and I sold paper napkins.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Well, then how did you get together with the acting and the comedy?
Well, it kind of, we gave those jobs up. That was a joke in itself. And went for a little more serious line of work, working in comedy. I was very fortunate, actually, being part of the Second City. I joined it in Chicago. And,
but how did you get into that?
Through Dan Aykroyd and a girl named Valerie Bromfield, a writer. She's going to be having a series of her own this year. I was doing a children's theater show, and they invited me down for lunch. And Second City was auditioning, and they had put my name down on the list. And as I was waiting for them, a lot of people standing around, they called my name out, and I had to go in and audition. And I went in, and I was sent down to Chicago the next week. So they were the ones who did it, really.
How long ago was that?
72, 1972.
I was hired to go to, in Toronto, to go to Chicago with Second City, the theater group. And lasted there a year, and then I was traded back to Toronto, where we opened up the Fire Hall Theater, which is where Gene and I met with Joe Flaherty, Gilda Radner, Rosemary Radcliffe. A whole bunch of people. And then Dan Aykroyd came back. He left Second City for a while, came back on stage, and then we all ended up in Pasadena together for a while.
You know, it's a book. There's a book here.
And, well, we can tell a few chapters right now. And then the TV show spawned out of the theater group. And so we've been working together since '74.
Long time.
And we were in a couple of films together.
My first meeting with Eugene was we finished a morning rehearsal at Second City on the Fire Hall. We went over to this little greasy spoon, and Gene ordered a butter tart for dessert. We'd already eaten. Gene was still just getting his hamburger ready. I was kind of wondering, what the heck, who is this guy? You know, it's just taking him forever to eat. We're like gone in 5 minutes. Gene is like half an hour to eat this burger. Then he orders a butter tart. And this doesn't have a great, dessert tray over there. It's like 2 donuts and a butter tart. How old is that donut? I'll have does the butter tart have raisins in it? I don't know. Maybe he does. I don't know. Make up your mind. What do you want? A butter tart. Brings it over. Gene slices the top of it off, flips it over, picks the raisins out, and puts the top back on and eats it. And, what are you doing? Don't like raisins. Just can't eat them. Why would you order it? I like the rest of the taste. Just can't stand that. And that's Eugene.
It isn't disconcerting to work with a group and have them suddenly hit you with a new line
No,
in the middle
I'm
of
so
shooting.
used to doing that, being with Second City. I mean, you're just used to it. It's terrible working with an actor who hasn't come from there. I mean, I feel so terrible because I'll change a line in the next reading, and they're just standing there, and you throw their cues off and their timing. Some of them get quite upset working with Second City actors.
We were working Second City on stage for, at the time, $45 or $65 a week, 8 shows a week. Didn't care.
Yeah.
You know, $125 a week was great.
When you
It was
went to
wonderful.
3 figures.
That was big.
Remember that? Yeah.
And then the negotiation for another $15 was major. I mean, we won a victory.
Yeah.
Candy is a guy who, when I was in the Second City with him in Chicago, ordered carpeting and drapes over the phone from one of those late-night TV things. They said 3 rooms for $199. They ended up coming in and saying, oh, $199, that pretty much just gives you like gray felt. He spent $1,200 on carpeting and lime carpeting and drapes, gold drapes. And Candy's a guy who always has a gold cigarette lighter and no money in his pocket. I mean, I'm sure things are clearing up now, John, but these guys from Lincoln Carpeting dunned him. They dunned him for months. We were making $150 a week before taxes in the theater, and he spends $1,200 on carpeting, and I mean, what the hell? He's an astute businessman, John Candy. He certainly is. What?
We hadn't been out to Los Angeles much. We were there briefly, I think in '75, in Pasadena in a shopping mall with Second City. They booked a theater there for us. And it was formerly a cafeteria in the Green Giant chain, the Henri's restaurant. We got off the plane, we were so excited, we made it to Hollywood. And here we are when we realized, well, Hollywood isn't even part of it, it's Los Angeles, okay. And we got on a bus, and we kept driving and driving and driving and driving, and then it started raining. And we never thought it rained, we believed the song. And it was raining, we were in Pasadena, and they pulled up in front of this beautiful motel. And we went in, and they said, no, yours is 2 doors down. And we went, and it was the only one in the block that had dead palms. I swear to God, they had dead palms, and the pool was half filled, and it was rust-colored. Because they kept an alligator in there, and he died the week before.
Yeah.
And we were literally in a shopping mall. There was a sign out front, chickens 29 cents a pound, comedy $5.50.
I think I could be in trouble here. I really do.
Be in style. Don't be left out of an all-new SCTV Comedy Network.
So get the hell off your butts and come on down.
At SCTV, the checks bounced pretty good, too. We went to a bank.
Mine's still bouncing. I don't know. That was years ago.
We would go to the bank immediately upon receiving their check. And if we weren't fast enough, I mean, the bank tellers would laugh at us.
I see you and Catherine O'Hara racing to the bank in case one of you gets ahead of the other.
I think Catherine was with me. We went in there and we go, now the other guys got you.
It was this was said to be one of the smartest, funniest things on television there for a while. And what happened? Why did it come to an end? All good things have to come to an end, but why not?
You know, it ran its course, and
Well, it was on for 8 years.
It's a long time.
Yeah, that's a long run. That's a lot of sketches and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Does that say that the American public had tired of American parody and spoof? Does it
no,
say
the
anything
network's,
about
I think, tired of it.
Ah, the guys up there, the powers that
Yeah,
be.
well, we were bounced around. We were in various forms. We were from a half-hour show to a 90-minute show. Then I think the last offer from NBC was to go on at 7 o'clock on Sunday, 7 p.m.
it was hard to find a time slot for us, and it was too expensive a show to put on late night. We were on a 12:30 to
2 in the morning, yeah.
time slot, you know.
Good time
and that was
slot.
expensive, and there was no, you know, they couldn't move us up.
How do you all compliment each other as professionals?
I say, good work, John.
I say,
and,
geez,
you're
you know,
looking
the best
awful
I've seen
fine
you do in a
today.
while, boy, I tell you.
I've never seen you looking more
Fabulous, nice outfit, too.
Thank you very
really
much.
looking well. Are those new glasses?
Well, I've had them for a year, but
Gee,
thank
they
you for
really
the
look
compliment.
good on you, you know?
Okay.
It was It was a great time in all our lives. I think we all miss it for various reasons, but I don't think we'll ever get back what we had then, that freedom, that innocence.
Do you have nostalgia for it then?
Yes, very much so, very much so. We ended up on Cinemax, I think, our final year, which I left that year. There's just creative differences.
Among the artistes?
Mm-hmm. Surprise, surprise.
Could you give an example without using real names, or if you like?
Well, it was in general. I felt that going on to Cinemax in the last years, we should have altered the show slightly and geared it towards a cable market.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a consensus to keep it exactly the same as it was. And I think I'd reached my limit with the show, what I could offer. More importantly, I think that's why I left.
It's what we call in the polka music business as audience participation number, where the audience gets to participate in the song.
And if you don't feel like participating, you don't have to, because like no one's going to be holding, a finger or a gun to your head, like they do back in Lutonia.
No, back
quite a bit there.
Back there, you have to participate whether you like it or not. But we still have fun.
Well, they were created for SCTV when we were doing
originally,
SCTV, and they were two very popular characters, especially with me and John.
In our families.
And we did it a few times on SCTV, and they were great. And they're polka meisters. They're kind of polka kings, and
they come from the country of Lutonia.
Lutonia.
What makes them funny? What makes them funny?
I don't know.
You tell me what makes them funny.
Well, it's actually we're being thought of as being introduced into the Polka Hall of Fame in Chicago.
It's so nice to get the recognition of your peers,
And you can make some money out of that too, which is always, nice. And they give you a few bucks to go in there.
Possessed by the souls of Yashin Spen. What a thing to live with.
No, constantly it just comes out every now and then and frightening. No, well, anyway. No.
In Edmonton, we were filming SCTV, and we were always kidding around with this schmangy. That guy's a schmangy. We were using it in a derogatory manner. And there's a couple of schmangies for you. And we were writing another scene, and the TV was on in the background. That's how we wrote. Any distraction. Oh, please.
You can hear one now, in fact. We put this here to make you feel it.
And there was a polka show that came on, and I said, oh, look at those schmaggies. And we looked at each other and went, and boy, that one just wrote real fast. I played clarinet in high school, and Gene played accordion in high school. So that's how the instruments were allocated. And we went with as many warts as we could, without being, tasteless. We wanted to be tasteful, so one wart per. Yeah. And Gene decided.
Is that where tasteful leaves off with one wart?
If you went with three, I think.
Yeah.
3 warts would, be insulting some group.
Over the wart quota,
yes,
say in comedy.
Yeah. But you don't want a wart gap. So
that's the phrase I was grasping for.
So we settled on 1.
I remember you on Splash. That must have been a great experience.
Yeah.
Working with a mermaid.
It was great. We had a good time doing that one. That was a lot of fun.
Tell us each about your characters and how it came about. John?
Actually, I played Freddie Bauer. Alan Bauer was the lucky fellow who found the mermaid. And actually, the part I wanted was Eugene's. When we were
the mad scientist.
Yeah, I thought that was a great role. I thought the brother has nothing to do.
Eugene seemed to just going around.
You see what I did? I did nothing with it.
Unbelievable.
Exactly what I.
You just threw water in everybody's faces. You just seemed to have a good time.
I was the coyote in the Roadrunner movie.
How many takes did it take you to do the shot where you hit the ball against the wall and it rebounds off your head?
Well, you're not going to believe this, but 3.
You're kidding.
Lucky.
Did it happen and you just decided to... I thought maybe it happened by accident. You decided to leave it in or something.
No, what Ron said, we want the ball bouncing off your head. I thanked him very much.
Yes.
Went to my trailer, and then came back after the insistence of the producer. But they were going to do it on. They wanted to do it on a master shot, the shot that you see in the movie. But as a backup, they were just going to do a cutaway. So we did a couple cutaways with him bouncing a ball off my head. It just didn't work.
Lots of practice.
Yes.
Warming up his arm.
They used this old noggin a little bit on that picture.
We could call the film Splat instead of Splash.
It was going to be Splat if you hit me one more time.
It is, however, not a picture about racquetball. The most effective scenes in the film is really your scene when you're telling Tom Hanks, listen, kid, if you're in love, you're in love. It may never happen to me. I don't know. You seem to have a lot of sincerity in that scene. You must have enjoyed doing that particular moment.
It was one of the reasons I wanted to do the picture. The script allowed me to do something other than play racquetball.
And here I am. The first question out of the gate is about racquetball.
No, that was a good moment in the picture, but it would have been really boring for me to just do that type of scene throughout the whole movie. Do that real raucous, hey, 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 you know? Which was my entrance, crashing into the fruit.
Where are you on 3 pictures a year
I don't know.
as a writer, performer, creative producer?
Yeah, I don't know what happened to that. You know, I started off with Tom Wilhite, who was an executive at Disney right after Splash. And he was actually the one who initiated that proposal to me. He said, would you like to come and work here? Of course, and he was the only one in town, really, who had expressed interest in me producing and writing. They saw something in me. Immediately, we had signed the papers. Tom Wilhite was out, Kim LeMaster was in, and Dick Berger were running the studio. New guys. Hi, I'm John Candy. I just signed a deal. How do you do? I was wondering if you could look at some of the things I had. And Kim was very nice, and Dick was very nice. I just started working on a screenplay called Con Job with Doug Steckler, Mike Short, and John McAndrew, who were working. While we were putting the Schmingies together, I was working on the screenplay with those guys. I was kind of supervising this. A real funny story about a college town that was taken over by a prison, and how the lives of the people in that town now have a prison in this beautiful old stately college. As soon as that draft was finished, Kim LeMaster was out, Dick Berger was out, Jeffrey Katzenberg is in. Hello, my name is John Candy. I was here a little while ago. I never had an office. Anyway, here's the script. We don't like it. Okay. I'll be down here if you need me. I'm over here. Give us some time to get settled in here. We'll see what happens. And that's really where it is. I don't know. Yeah, I feel uncomfortable. Can we believe that? I feel uncomfortable watching myself in my room. I think I'm so critical of my work.
This way shouldn't
I could have done that. I could have done that. Oh, I'm bad choice. And I figured, why keep whipping yourself? Stop it. Just don't go see it. I can watch the work in progress. You know, I can watch a work print, but the actual finished, I go, oh, why did they choose that?
Or leave that out.
Yeah, why didn't they leave that out? I shouldn't have done that. Then they wouldn't have had that choice.
And then the one thing you hope is in there isn't.
Yeah, that's happened a lot of times.
Didn't you say after working with Carl Reiner that, yes, you were interested in directing?
Yes.
What happened?
I did, and I've changed my mind again. But if I go back to Carl again, I may switch it back. He made it look so much fun. He allowed me to be part of the process of making the movie. And he walked me through it. And he was showing me what he was doing. And I really hadn't paid that much attention before. I mean, I paid attention to directors, obviously, but Carl was showing me technically how to go through it and what he was looking for. And that was very interesting, very exciting for me. And he took me into the editing room, showed me what he was doing, how to do it. He wanted my input on it. And that was the first time anybody really said, well, what do you think? What do you like? Do you like your take here, or do you like your take over there? That's the first time I'd had those options, aside from working at Second City. My God, I love this man. This is what making movies is, yes.
Why can't you look this good? Mother Nature wasn't so kind to some of us. Move it. Oh, it touched me. I got my Christmas goose early. Oh, aren't you the cheeky one? Please, that's like the pod calling the kettle black.
Kind of a 1986 version of Some Like It Hot.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, yeah.
Well, that was fun. You know,
we cut off a good part there right at the very end. Because you'll have to go see the movie to see that.
What was the good part?
Oh, you didn't see? Oh, well, I guess I shouldn't get into this.
Yeah,
kind of a cheeky little role there at the end.
John says, isn't he the cheeky little devil?
And
it's one of those
Gene kind of bears his soul a little bit and other parts of his anatomy.
Would you care to do that now?
Come on.
Would I care to do that now?
Oh, drop your drawer, show everybody for crying out loud. It's funny. Get a laugh. It'll get a laugh.
Maybe in the
Drop
privacy of the control room. But it's a thrill being out on Hollywood Boulevard, doing that scene, getting
hanging out,
from 200
so to speak.
people.
Yes.
On the other side of the street who happen to be up at 3:30 in the morning. I don't know. It's the movies. It's fun. It's you do it. John, you'll be doing that in your next film, won't you?
Oh, now after seeing you do it, sure, absolutely.
You want that Playgirl nomination?
Well, I know.
I'm afraid that's a must.
It's National Geographic again for me.
We're going to be back with Eugene and John. This is Lover Speaks No More I Love Yous.
Armed and Dangerous goes back, I think, to 1979, 78. It was originally written for Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi. Created by James Keach and Brian Grazer. Harold Ramis got involved with it. Harold did a draft, and it evolved to where I was going to do it with Danny. And John Carpenter was going to direct. They asked me, I said, oh, sure, I'd love to. I finished off Volunteers and Summer Rental. I was about to go down to Los Angeles to start shooting on it. I got a couple phone calls from people saying, well, Dan's not doing it, but John's not doing it. I said, but I'm still doing it. I have a contract, I'm set. But I understood Dan and John not wanting to do it for various reasons, or creative and artistic reasons they had for not doing the picture. And Gene and I were starting to work in September, October. We were back here in Toronto, and we were kicking around an idea to do a movie together. We enjoyed working with each other, so it was, I thought, gee, that Armed and Dangerous might not be bad. It's written already, it's there. We'll switch the roles. I'll take Dan's role. I'll play the cop. He played a lawyer. He read it. He liked it. So we called up and said, okay, here's a compromise. Let's not get into this legal gobbledygook. Would you be interested in the two of us doing it?
Candy and Aykroyd are marvelous talent. Aykroyd has shown in past pictures that he's a better talent than Candy, who succeeded only for the first time last year with Steve Martin in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. He fails when he's used as just an overweight wind-up toy, which has been his sad state in his career for far too long. It happens again here in The Great Outdoors. It's very disappointing. Aykroyd has a couple of throwaway lines that are funny, but that's it for what is a very, very weak film.
I was shocked. You would think that with the names Aykroyd and Candy connected to a movie, you would have something funny, even if you only just shot a documentary of the two of them sitting around during their lunch break.
That's my standard line.
They threw away that stuff and just used whatever they had left. Now, this movie was written and produced by John Hughes, who also made Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which is about another odd couple, Candy and Steve Martin, who go through a lot of adventures. It's almost as if he put all of his good stuff in that movie and then took all of the outtakes and put them in this movie, outtakes of his script, because this movie is lame and dumb and slow and no good.
And didn't you know everything that was going to happen? Isn't that amazing? The big commodities guy from Chicago just doesn't like nature. And then the average guy, the happy-go-lucky, chubby guy, he loves animals. Thanks. We appreciated that.
He's the big guy.
He's a big, fat comedian.
He's a jolly fat man.
He's fat, he's funny.
Funny and stupid.
I like him as a funny guy. He just makes you laugh. I don't care what kind of a mood you're in. He just makes you laugh.
Big, fat, and funny? Who is this guy? John Candy? Who? And in the UK, that's the problem for Hollywood's physically unlikeliest star. But his latest movie, Uncle Buck, a runaway success in America, could be the film that changes his image from Big Fat Who to Big Funny Somebody. Candy's likeable charm helped turn Uncle Buck into last summer's surprise hit. It took in excess of $60 million in America and was #1 at the box office for 4 weeks running.
I wasn't surprised by it. I knew it was a good picture from first reading of the script, and I know working with John Hughes, the type of films he'll make.
A wart played a part in a movie you did. Am I crazy? Or am I
Uncle Buck, yes.
Uncle Buck.
Here's a quarter, get a rat. Go downtown and get a rat to gnaw that off your face. Yeah. An improvised moment in the film that was John Hughes and I tend to do. I mean, he writes an incredible script, but John, once you finished your dialogue on page, you don't hear cut. It's just, there's that panic in your eyes for a split second, and you realize, we're improvising. And you go on and on. So that was one of those moments. Well, I think the whole attitude in acting with the two kids in the movie was based on my relationship with Jennifer and Christopher and how I would deal with them. And I dealt with each one differently, as I do with my kids, but the one thing I never talked down to them at all. And in the movie, Uncle Buck doesn't talk down to these kids. I think that's why they like him. He treats them as an equal, and they like that, and they're given that respect and that self-esteem, and that comes across. And John had mentioned to me after, he says, "You dealt with each one differently." I said, "Well, yeah." See, he was so focused on certain areas, he missed some of the things. He saw it later. But that's why we work well. I mean, he covers one side, and I'll cover the other side, and put them all together. I mean, I don't know what he does over there half the time. When I look at it, I go, "Gee, how did he do that? I didn't know they were shooting like that."
Uncle Buck is on the same familiar turf, but there's something a little strange about the film. It wants to be funny and warm-hearted, but at the same time, it has a dark undercurrent, and there are scenes where the kindly uncle goes after the teenager's boyfriend with a power drill and then locks him in a car trunk and tapes his hands together with construction tape. It's strange the way this movie generates creepy feelings that work against everything it's trying to do. By the end of the movie, I wasn't sure that I would want Uncle Buck living in my suburb with me if I lived in the suburb.
Well, actually, I like the darker material more than the sweet, predictable, namby-pamby stuff. I mean, to have the kids suddenly be transformed by Uncle Buck into being better mannered, and to have Uncle Buck become transformed by the kids into being willing to finally propose marriage to Amy Madigan, that's nothing special.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
that's
could see that coming a long way down
That's
the road.
TV sitcom.
Yeah.
I like the dark stuff.
You've had tremendous success recently, not just doing Uncle Buck, but also the radio. What is going on with Radio Candy and the new children's? I mean, how many things are you doing?
I don't know. Things just started evolving. I mean, it's wonderful because you can just vent a lot of things on there. I mean, I'm always making comments on what happened to Who's Harry Crumb, or Hot to Trot. They're always reminding me of that one. Or Speed Zone now. We're taking some shots at that. I've been taking shots at TriStar Pictures for their non-campaign with Who's Harry Crumb. God, what a... There's a team for you.
They've had another management shuffle.
Yeah, and they all got promotions. It was funny asking, because I was executive producer, and I was asking them, well, what are we going to do week 2 of the campaign? How are we going to change it if we find that the demographics are going this way or that way? If we have to attract more women into it, or we have to get the 18 to 35s group, what are we going to do? No, we only have one campaign. Why? It's the way we do things. Well, what if it changes? And it changes. There's no thought, no preparation. It was a great learning experience. It was a great learning experience.
Has all of this in the industry made you tougher, stronger?
Oh yeah, absolutely. More self-confidence. And I still have respect for people and their work and everything, but I question a lot more than I did before. I'm not afraid. What are they going to say to me? Just be straight. Just be straight. That's all I ask them to be to me, is just be straight. I'll be straight with you.
Boy, as opposed to some of them that drag on for years.
Yes, I know. I've been involved with some of those as well. Just take forever to get done. We're in the middle of one right now with Delirious. The movie that'll never be released. I don't know.
What is it?
Delirious, the one for MGM. With all the problems they're having.
Yes.
It was supposed to come out last fall, and I think it's just sitting on a shelf collecting dust, which is a shame, but that's the way it works.
Movie biz.
Yep. There's a number that are not so kind, and
are there?
Yeah, I've had a number of critics go after me, which is fair game. I mean,
For what, for example?
Usually poor choice in material, or here he is again, too many films. I did go through a period there I was doing a lot of favors.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I'll do that. Well, could you just, sure, without thinking or leading with your heart.
In a buddy's movie or something.
I'm Joe Flaherty. What's your name, stranger?
I'm Candy.
Hi, I'm Joe Flaherty. Say, what's your name, stranger?
Candy's the name, John Candy, and I'll be appearing in Cursed with Charisma.
I'll say, isn't that an episode on my series, Really Weird Tales?
You got that right, friend. And you'll see it right here on HBO.
Again, to talk about what... But I do that because I don't want to end up like, well, shit, is that a good move? Is that a career move? Should I be in that picture? I did it out of loyalty and out of friendship and say, yeah, sure.
Yeah. He's a bastard, but he's a genius. And I would walk into the jaws of hell for that man. It was my instinct that he would be good. They said, well, he's a first-time director. Do you want to talk to John about it? I said, no, I'm not going to talk to John. He'll be great, and he is. as a director first time, it was imperative that my cast be there for me, and who better to go to than your friends and who you know and trust and you've worked with, and every one of them has just been fantastic.
149-2, take one. A mark only.
And action.